Hey there, this is Troy Baker, and this is a piece of Schmidt.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Piece of Schmidt podcast, the podcast where we sit around this table and talk about serial killers.
Ooh.
To my left, Wes Baumgardner.
Hello.
To my right, James Koicha.
Hello.
And we're in the new studio for the Derailed
studio,
podcast.
feels like.
Diagonal. We're in a diagonal.
Diagonal alley.
It's a diagonal. So hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy the new set. If you like what you see, head on over to YouTube and give us a like and a subscribe. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Get updates on all the shows. And support the show on patreon.com/derailed. I think we're going to kick the show off with some commentos.
Nice.
You don't have the haunted clock anymore.
Oh, they left it. They left it on the wall.
First of all, this month of October, we've gone from 159 subscribers to 161. So thank you. Both subscribers this month. And we have a comment on last week's Piece of Schmidt, which was the Harry Potter trivia.
Okay.
The Great Pirate Morgan says, "Hey guys, just found your podcast and I'm loving it. I know it's a bit late, but I've been going through your backlog and I really dig the spooky episodes.
Oh, nice.
Have you guys checked out any of The Missing 411 by David Paulides? There's a few Coast to Coast AM episodes as well as several books. I just think it'd be great to hear you guys talk about it this close to Halloween. Much love and looking forward to more episodes."
Nice.
Well, thank you, The Great Pirate Morgan. I enjoy the spooky episodes as well, but I don't know anything about this 411. What is it called? The Missing 411?
I've never heard of this.
The Missing 411. It's a literary series.
Ooh, we have 162 subscribers.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a movie. All right. Let's see. He's an investigator. David Paulides is an investigator and writer known primarily for his research into people who have gone missing under mysterious circumstances. He's written a series of self-published books, Missing 411, in which he provides case details about the disappearance on people in national parks and elsewhere. That sounds fucking great. Let's see. So in his pursuit of Bigfoot, Paulides self-published 2 Bigfoot-related books and created a research group called North America Bigfoot Search, for which he serves as a director. So he's got Bigfoot DNA. Team of scientists can verify that their 5-year-long DNA study currently under peer review confirms the existence of novel hominin hybrid species commonly called Bigfoot or Sasquatch living in North America. Okay. Do you believe in Bigfoot, guys? Is he real?
Yeah.
I mean, Harry and the Hendersons.
You think so?
Yeah.
For real?
Yes.
Gnarly. I mean, probably.
Like, of all of the cryptids that we talked about and that I've heard about, I think that's probably the most likely to be real.
Like something furry that stands up on 2 legs that we just haven't discovered yet.
Yeah, something that hides a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's super possible.
Like, not like the Chupacabra or the Jersey Devil or anything like that.
Yeah, Mothman's a little like, oh, okay. You know.
Or Bat Boy or anything like that.
Yeah. What are those other ones we talked about? There were some weird ones that we did on that episode.
Bat Squatch.
Bat Squatch.
I just love the name.
Yeah. So following his work on Bigfoot, Paulides' next project was Missing 411, a series of self-published books, a documentary documenting unsolved cases of people who have gone missing. So he interviewed a bunch of rangers. He's written 8 books about these missing people. The documentaries we could watch are called Missing 411. Sounds interesting. Well, I think we will probably watch that or read some of that and
Take a look into it. Talk about it soon.
Yeah. Good topic around Halloween, though.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I've discovered some inspirations for horror things. So,
Okay.
process that.
No, I was like, I was processing it.
Yeah.
I understand.
So it's a list of 10 inspirations for terrifying horror movies. Okay? Now I know it's movies and we're going to do that on Bloodshots, but whatever, okay? This is going to be more about the inspirational part of the movies. So there's a movie called I Drink Your Blood. Have you ever heard of it?
Nope.
Me neither. The members of an evil cult of hippie Satanists featured in David Durston's 1970 exploitation film take LSD and worship the devil after setting up camp near a small isolated town. So, who do you think this is going to be a game? This is going to be a general discussion. Okay. But who do you think, or what real life event do you think was the inspiration behind 1970 exploitation film I Drink Your Blood, where they take LSD and worship the devil?
A real life thing.
Yeah.
Is the real life thing something like scary or anything, or just
It should be, yeah.
okay? Charles Manson.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding. Avenge. Blah, blah, blah. He wanted to base his movie on a horrific incident that actually could happen, and was inspired by 2 real life events: the murders committed by Charles Manson and a rabies epidemic in Iran. The film references former source by including a scene in which one of the mad hippie cult members paints the word pig on the stomach of a cohort being tortured, which is a Marilyn Manson thing.
Charles Manson.
Marilyn Manson. Okay. Now this one is... Okay, so there's a real life event that inspired A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really?
Yeah. According to director Wes Craven, a Los Angeles Times article about a family who'd made it out of Cambodia's killing fields alive inspired his 1984 movie. And I think these Cambodia things are for the things that are in Rambo.
Yeah.
Where they like make them run across or whatever.
Yep.
So the article reported that the family immigrated to the United States, but their young boy was haunted by the ordeal. Afraid that the monsters in his dreams would seize him in his slumbers, he refrained from sleeping for days. Finally, his parents thought the crisis had passed until they heard him screaming. They rushed to his bedside only to find him dead.
Damn.
And then Freddy was born. That's weird, huh?
Yeah. I've heard lore before of like if you see yourself dead in a dream, you won't wake up. And
Sure.
that was a little bit. I heard that when I was a kid, and it scared the shit out of me.
That's terrifying.
So yeah, I've heard that too, and that's like I always remember having the falling dream, but you always wake up before you hit.
Yeah, I always had the climbing. I was always climbing a ladder for some reason.
I always have the teeth falling out dream.
Really?
I'll have that one more often than not. Is like I'll be in the mirror and I'll be like, oh god, one of these teeth are gone, and then I'll like, oh, they're all gone. Ah, yeah, that's my most common one. Let's see. As inspiration for his 1972 debut film, this is another Wes Craven film. This is Wes Craven's first movie, The Last House on the Left.
Oh,
Ooh.
shit.
Drew on Ingmar Bergman's The Virgin Spring, in which abducted teenage girls were taken into the woods. Bergman's Academy Award-winning film was itself inspired by a Swedish ballad recounting the rape and murder of a young virginal woman on her way to church. Craven's film focuses on sex and violence as a gang of sadistic escaped criminals kidnap 2 teenage girls. That's insane.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense movie. Have you seen it?
The Last House on the Left?
Yeah, the original
Yeah.
one? Oh, God. And
And
the
then-
remake, too, was even pretty intense.
The remake was a little excessive, in my opinion.
With Blake Lively, I think, was in it.
No, it's fucking J-Law.
Is it J-Law?
I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah. She was in some sort of dumb horror movie when she was younger. Wes Craven again.
Jesus.
The 1996 slasher Scream inspired Nick Simon's 2015 movie, The Girl in the Photographs, on which Craven was the executive producer.
Sorry, Sarah Paxton.
In the original?
Oh.
No, the newer one.
Yeah. Not even any of them.
What the fuck movie was she in then? Look up J-Law and look up like a horror movie in that around that time. 'Cause she was in something stupid. Let's see. Like Scream, The Girl in the Photographs is a slasher set in a small town in which young adults are beset by a band of psychotic killers. Wait, is this another
House on the
Street?
End of the Street.
Thank you. Easily confused.
Easily.
This one doesn't make any sense. This is saying that Scream inspired another movie, but it's not saying why Scream, like
What inspired Scream?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Skipping that one. Brian De Palma got the idea for his 1992 film Raising Cain from a child psychologist with whom De Palma is friends. The psychologist told De Palma that he wanted to take a break from his practice so he could conduct an intense home study of his daughter. De Palma imagined Dr. Carter Nick Sr. a twisted version of his friend who traumatizes a child to the point that the boy develops multiple personalities. Okay, these aren't that scary. I should proofread these. Let's
You've
see.
been a little busy.
Brian De Palma's 1980 thriller Dressed to Kill was inspired by the director's own experience in the film. A young photographer follows a criminal and takes pictures of him in his own youth. De Palma did something similar with his philandering father. Dressed to Kill is also inspired by Alfred Hitchcock's film Psycho. However, both characters are soon murdered, and the films then focus on their true central characters. So they have similar conjoined twins and Hitchcock's Rear Window. De Palma based his 1973 film Sisters on a Life magazine article concerning joined Russian twins, but the movie also pays homage to 2 Hitchcock films. Wow, that's a long one, but this doesn't make any sense.
It's not the list you were looking for or what you thought it was going to be?
Lists are weird, man. Okay, here we go. Tobe Hooper's 1974 horror fest, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was inspired by 3 sources. Ed Gein, who also inspired Psycho's Norman Bates, and Hooper's visit to a hardware store, and Andrew Wyeth's 1948 painting Christina's World. The painting was also used on a poster advertising the movie. Christina's World shows its subject, a young female polio victim, laboriously crawling across a field toward a distant farmhouse. I could see how that would inspire that. Hooper said that Gein's furniture, tableware, and other artifacts which Gein made from skins and bones of his victims and masks made their faces inspired Leatherface's similar mask and furniture. While shopping for Christmas at Montgomery Ward, Hooper saw a display of chainsaws. The sight gave him the unholy inspiration of adopting a chainsaw as Leatherface's weapon of choice. Interesting. That I did not know. And was actually an interesting fact. Way to come back to the list. All right. Let's see. For his 1976 horror movie, Eaten Alive, yeah, I had a picture of it here.
Oh.
Show him, though. Like, that totally would be like, oh,
Jeez.
damn. That's definitely Chainsaw Massacre. That first one is so low-key scary. It's, like, terrifying, but it's very... I think it's very... it's a good example of like how scary movies have changed from 1974 to like 2014 or 2018. It's such a different movie, that original Massacre.
Well, it was almost documentary style or news report style.
Agreed.
And just Leatherface was a great villain.
Yeah, very scary.
Another one of those,
Ed
like,
Gein was very, very scary.
Yeah, Ed Gein was terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, like the Kane version?
Oh,
the
yeah.
wrestler.
I forgot about that. And then Jessica Biel was in one version of that movie too, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, really?
I went to go see that in theaters.
Was that the remake or the like pseudo sequel? Like
Oh.
supposed to take place directly after the events of.
I believe it's an actual remake because it's a bunch of kids in a hippie van.
That's
and
the
then they
remake.
stop.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the remake one.
Because I know they did one recently, which is like a direct sequel to the
Yeah.
original. Like it picks up with almost the same footage of everyone dying.
No, this is one where like Jessica Biel was like been stabbed and is running through a field, but her tank top is still perfectly rolled up like over her belly button.
Ah,
Yeah, one of those movies. So there's a 1976 horror movie called Eaten Alive, made by Hooper. He found his inspiration in a series of murders committed by Joseph D. Ball, born in San Antonio in 1896. Ball, who'd been a bootlegger after his World War I service in Europe, opened an Elmendorf, Texas bar called the Sociable Inn. The property included a pond that was home to Ball's 6 alligators. He fed cats and dogs to the reptiles and charged his customers to watch the alligators feed. But Ball also fed alligators and the remains of the women he robbed and murdered. These women included his wife, former girlfriends, and women he hired to work in his bar. Ooh. Woof. Okay, this one is insane. Okay, they're saying Dan O'Bannon's movie, Alien, which is, I don't know if that's
Dan O'Bannon.
Oh, I guess he's the writer, so
Oh, is it?
sure. All right. So Dan O'Bannon's 1979 movie Alien, which we all know, was inspired by Edward L. Cahn's 1958 horror film It, The Terror from Beyond Space. By Mario Bava's 1965 movie Planet of the Vampires, by John Carpenter's 1974 picture Dark Star, and by O'Bannon's own struggle with Crohn's disease. So that's not an inspiration. It's just inspired by other movies.
I wonder if there's any correlation between the Dark Star movie and not Grateful Dead. Is it Grateful Dead? That thing. There's a song called Dark Star that's like 27.5 minutes long. It's either Grateful Dead or Led Zeppelin.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash?
No.
They have a song called Dark Star.
No.
It's the only one I know.
I used to play to the jukebox in Florida all the time when I wanted people to get the fuck out of the pool hall.
Have you? So we're kind of jiving a little bit with Bloodshots right now,
It is
but
Grateful Dead. Okay.
did you ever watch that show The Jinx on HBO, the documentary?
I did not.
But you heard about it, right?
Yeah. I think
that
you
guy's
talked.
insane.
I think you told me about it.
Yeah, he super killed a bunch of people. But he's in jail now.
I knew we were talking about this. I saw a picture on Reddit a couple days ago that broke down. It was just 50 pictures of the serial killers by state.
Oh,
Of like the ones like for here in Washington.
Let's do it.
Gary Ridgway.
yeah, Gary Ridgway looks exactly like B.J. Shea from the 99.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, look up B.J. Shea and then look up Gary Ridgway.
Okay.
He's from Jersey, and when he moved out here, everyone was like giving him weird looks, and he's
Oh,
like,
really?
"Why do people keep looking at me all weird?" He's like, "Oh, I guess I'm on the radio, whatever, you know." And someone was like, "Dude, you look like our fucking Green River Killer."
Oh, shit. Damn.
Yeah, he looks very similar. Look up B.J. Shea and then Gary Ridgway. B.J. Shea's we're from Seattle, so he's on the Seattle radio station 99.9 KSW. You see it?
My phone's being a little slow at the moment.
Oh.
You should connect to Wi-Fi.
Now look up Gary Ridgway. I know what B.J. Shea looks like. We'll wait at home while you do this as well. Even though you don't care who B.J. Shea is, unless you're from Seattle.
Minus more hair, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, they look very
Wow.
similar.
That's funny.
He's free. He's hosting a radio show.
To be fair, he's one of those people I don't understand.
Is he
why we
still
have-
locked up?
He's still locked up. We haven't killed him yet.
Oh, you don't understand why we
Well,
haven't?
no, I know why we haven't because he keeps dropping more hints of like, oh, I can tell you about other bodies and other
Oh,
people.
he's just prolonging it. Wow.
And gosh, lest I talk about this anymore on Bloodshots, and I will, but I finished season 2 of Making a Murder.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I was looking at this. First off, is it as good as season 1?
I'll leave that for Bloodshots.
Okay.
I would just like to talk about the case of this thing, but I'll talk about the whole series and its quality on the podcast. You already heard about it on Friday. This is airing on Monday, so you already heard about it. But what I thought about it, but I learned a lot about the court systems, and it's basically like they're both in jail. Brendan Dassey and Stephen Avery, and they both win appeals to get freed for some reason, and then the state is like, we're appealing that, and then they're like, okay, and then it's basically just like who can file more paperwork.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
It's ridiculous. But my thoughts on it are that they super didn't do anything. And but there's still a lot of people that think they did, which is interesting. Now the documentary is not quality. I'm just saying it's as far as the content, it's extremely one-sided. It's extremely supportive of Avery and Dassey. But I did read a lot about the opposing sides' arguments as well. And frankly, they just don't hold as much water. They just don't. If I'm looking at it objectively, I mean, the first season was all about like, oh, he did it. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. No, he didn't. And it's like episode to episode, like it was really good. And this is more of like, how can we get them out? We got this new lawyer, whatever, you know, and she's doing these experiments, and it's like, damn, all this shit doesn't add up. Like all the stuff that they presented in court, she's doing experiments, and they're like, it wouldn't have turned out that way. If they're saying it happened the way they did, it wouldn't. That's not how it would have. The blood would have showed up here, or that's blah blah blah, and then.
So this one has more of the actual like CSI investigators test and
That
test.
sounds like the staircase thing too, where that guy faked all that bullshit investigative work, and then actual talented people came in and they're like, all that shit was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. So staircase. So Jinx guy definitely did it because he invented, or he admitted it at the very end. I'm pretty sure Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey didn't do anything.
What about staircase?
Staircase guy, I'm pretty sure did it.
Yeah, it's too much of a coincidence.
Like the
Between
fact
the
that
two incidences.
that the lady in Germany also
Yeah.
fell downstairs.
Yeah.
Like at that
Yeah.
point, I was like, "Oh fuck, dude, this
Yeah.
guy fucking killed both of them."
Exactly.
Oh my god! Like once something like that happens twice in your life, it's like red flag. Oh
And then what
boy.
about crazy lady that blew the guy up with the collar?
Man, so that's also evil genius. Yeah. So
That was so good.
boy,
So I found a list of the 50,
I think she did it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
50 most prolific killers in U.S. history.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Number 1, Gary Ridgway.
He's number 50.
No, he's number 1.
Oh.
It's going reverse order. but-
Okay. Sure. So it's not like greatest. It's just
No,
50.
so he has proven at least 49 victims. While he confesses at least 71, people are thinking it's closer to 90.
Oh my god, he's gonna give up like one a year. and just
That's
stay in
how
jail
he's staying
forever.
alive. Yeah. Donald Harvey. He's boasted about killing 87 people, but he's connected to about 37 to 57. He worked at a hospital.
much.
He acted as a self-professed angel of death.
Damn.
Wow.
He did it to end suffering.
Sure.
He has 28 consecutive life sentences.
Damn.
John Wayne Gacy, killer clown.
Yep.
He raped and murdered at least 33 young men in Chicago.
Young men. Mm-hmm. Whoa. That's crazy.
He was put to death by lethal injection.
Wow. That guy, so he just went.
Does it tell you where?
Chicago.
What
Oh,
Chicago?
so that's what I was going to say is
Yeah.
like these people are on death row for so long because they can appeal like 6 or 7 times or something like that.
And the one thing I don't like about this list I'm looking at, but it's the most comprehensive list, is it's not telling me where they did this from. So like it tells me his birth, like,
because Ted Bundy did it across the country.
Yeah,
and, like,
Gary
ended up in Florida.
well, Gary Ridgway.
Which one was Ted Bundy?
That was the really normal looking guy that would just.
I know he
kidnap
had like
you
a
and-
bug and stuff, but like
Yeah.
what did he do?
Wasn't he the one
What
who
was his thing?
Was he the one who drilled the hole into people's heads to basically create sex zombies?
What?
I didn't hear about that. Dahmer was the cannibal.
Dahmer was the cannibal. Yeah. Then
Yeah. Ted Bundy, he would just. I
The
thought
guy-
he just like raped and killed people.
The guy from Korn has Ted Bundy's beetle.
Oh my god, really? Holy shit, that's creepy.
Ernie Nelson, the Dark Strangler. He's murdered at least 22 women.
Ugh.
They were his landladies. He would rent a room for a single lady and then murder him.
Oh shit.
Yo, dude, this fucking guy from the Jinx, one of his things is he moved from New York to Texas and dressed like an old lady.
Yeah.
And so the whole time, his neighbor thought that he was like, or his landlord thought that he was an old lady that worked all the time and never, that's why he never saw her.
Yeah.
Ted Bundy killed at least 30 women.
Uh-huh.
Kidnapped, killed, and raped his victims
That's what I thought,
from
okay.
Colorado, California, Idaho, up to Washington, Florida.
Yep.
Randomly in there.
Yeah.
Zodiac. That guy.
Never caught,
That's
right?
nuts. Yeah. That's
never
one of the
caught the
greatest.
Zodiac killer,
Nope. Nope. And then, like, I think in like 2003 or something, like someone sent another letter with the
Yeah.
Zodiac thing, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's back."
So this guy, Dan Corll, was never caught in his lifetime for the kidnapping, rape, torture, and murder of at least 28 boys in California. Coral, a.k.a. the Candyman, was killed in 1973 by an accomplice while committing a rape of his final victim.
Really?
Good grief.
So he-
Accomplice had a change of heart?
Accomplice was like, oh, look, this.
Yeah.
Jeez, after number 28. Good
At
grief.
least number
The
28.
accomplice probably didn't know. It might have been that might have been the first job.
Juan Corona. He
My corona.
he is working on a fruit ranch in California. Murdered at least 25 of his other migrant workers.
Oh Jesus. Weird.
And it's just like, oh man,
Yeah.
every time we send them on pairs, this one guy was
Oh,
coming
this
back.
one guy comes back with double the fruit. We
Yeah.
should pay him more.
Yeah. Oh, guys, hire someone else.
Wayne Williams is responsible for the death of 23 kids and 2 adults.
Wow.
He denies any involvement in the killing of the 2 adults.
Wow. Oh, there was one documentary on Netflix. I don't think it was an original, but it was like back in the day. It was a Netflix thing, and it was about this kid that got abducted in like 1996 or something, and then he got like brought into like this sex ring, okay, and like for like child porn sex ring or whatever, but he escaped.
Oh.
And then he walked all the way back, like across states, to go back to his mom's house, and he rang the doorbell. And the mom answered, and the light was like unscrewed or whatever, and so she couldn't see who it was, but she could tell it was her kid. And he was like, "I'm okay. I just want you to know I'm okay," and whatnot. And then this like fucking car like came up, and then he like looked back, and he was like, "Oh shit," and started running, and then she never saw him again.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Why
isn't
would
that
you just
fucking
go in the
crazy?
house?
I don't know, because he was afraid that like the people. So he ended up getting out, and they found him or whatever. After that,
Okay.
But he died. He was afraid that the kids that he knew, like if he ran away, like they would be punished or whatever. So he was
really?
like, I just wanted to go tell my mom finally once and for all that I was okay, where I am. But I didn't want to like run away for good because I didn't want them to, hurt the kids that I knew and stuff.
Jesus.
Fucking gnarly, dude.
Ronald Dominique
Okay.
raped and murdered at least 23 men. He killed gay men that he thought would have sex for money.
So he killed,
Isn't that
he killed
the-
gay prostitutes?
Yeah, because isn't Green River Killer the prostitute guy?
No, he just killed women.
Just women.
Yeah.
One of them though, Dahmer, I think maybe like ate the prostitutes. Someone
Yeah.
would always pick up prostitutes. I think it was Dahmer.
Jack the Ripper.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Dahmer was all up in Florida, in Gainesville too. Right
This-
by UF.
Another guy, Patrick Kearney, the trash bag killer, murdered between 21 and 43 young men. He'd pick up his victims from gay bars or hitchhikers and then rape and murder them. Another guy, killed, raped, tortured, and murdered at least 21 men on the Southern California highway.
Oh, that other Netflix show, the one that I was watching last year, about the guy who invented serial killer profiling.
Oh, yeah.
Mastermind?
Mind games?
Master? Something like that.
Yeah.
Fucking great show. Read the book. Gnarly book.
Yeah, you were saying like the first episode is all establishing, so you need to kind of get past episode 1.
Yeah, it's a little boring the
I thought it
first
was
episode.
Mastermind.
Maybe it's Mastermind. Well, I know there's a movie called Mastermind.
All right,
but
so-
Yeah,
that
that's the
shit's
Dana
gnarly.
Carvey one.
So Jeffrey Dahmer, let's see, committed.
That's Master of Disguise.
Oh, gotcha.
Mastermind is the one with Zach Galifianakis, and
Yeah,
it
Galifianakis.
was actually pretty funny.
Surprisingly, it was.
Yeah, it was like really weird.
Jeffrey Dahmer raped, murdered, and dismembered the bodies of
Masterminds, yeah.
17 young male victims.
Damn. Oh, what about Son of Sam? Son of Sam was the first one that they were talking about at the colleges
Yeah.
in the FBI when that guy in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Robert Lee Yates he's a guy who murdered 13 female prostitutes in Washington,
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of.
but he's only convicted of 2 murders.
That's all. You only need one. God, so Stephen Avery, the Stephen Avery Brandon Dassey thing is crazy. You watch this tape of them getting the confession of the little Brendan Dassey kid, and it's so creepy and they're so they're like, we already know. You just need to tell us. And he's like a 16-year-old kid with like 80 IQ, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's just sitting in there, and he's just like, he's probably thinking like, whatever. Like, I just want to tell him something so I can go home, right? And they're like, we already know. Tell us what happened. And he goes, okay, we shot her. And they're like, okay, where'd you shoot her? In the stomach. And they're like, no, she didn't get shot. So you got shot in the head. So they're like, Brendan, we know she got shot in the head. You need to tell us where she got shot. And he's like, okay, she got shot in the head. And they're like, okay, good. Thank you for telling us that. And it's like, you just fucking said that.
You're leading him right into
Dude,
this.
it's ridiculous. And they take it up to these courts.
How's that even admissible?
That's what I'm saying. They take it up to these courts, and you get these people that are like, think like this, think like me, and they're like, that's fucking crazy, dude. They fed him every bit of important information. And then you get these, like, all these other judges and stuff throughout this whole show are like, they didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. They were asking him all the right questions, and he seems fishy. He seems like he's changing the story. And I'm like, he's a fucking 16-year-old kid with an 80 IQ. Like, it's crazy, dude. People just... And that's the only reason he's in jail. He has no other tie to the crime. No DNA was ever found. None of... Anything. They just basically made him tell a story that matches Stephen Avery's. Wow. And now he's in jail since he was 16.
Part of that documentary that made me think the cops are corrupt, going back on that, is when they don't find anything in his house, the camera goes like this way, and then when it goes back, oh, we found the keys and this like pile of stuff, and it's like,
Yep. Dude, the new season goes into how the new lawyer thinks it was this ex-boyfriend guy. Brendan Dassey, the kid who's in jail, his older brother, they seize his laptop, and he has like 900, he has like thousands of pictures of women murdered in like water, like, and all these searches for like drowned girls, tortured girls, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what the fuck? Wow. Okay? And the goddamn prosecutors, the state prosecutors, they write on this little piece of paper that it's Brendan's computer. And there's 7 CDs, okay, with like how you have to tell the other lawyers like what you found or whatever. So on the bottom of this list is Brendan's computer. It's not Brendan's computer. It's his older brother's computer. Okay, so if you're the lawyers for Stephen Avery, you're looking at that list and you're like, oh, Brendan's. I don't give a fuck about Brendan's computer. I don't care about that. But it wasn't. It was fucking the other dude's computer. And there was 7 CDs and 1 DVD, and the DVD had all the pictures on it. And they just hid it from him. Wow. They straight up just lied about having this stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy. But there's still tons of people that
think he did
it. Yeah, it's so weird. And it's, to be fair, the documentary is very one-sided. But
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, but I mean, the stuff they show you, even if it wasn't,
it's crazy.
Even if it's only like 90 or even half right. That half is still fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, don't go be serial killers, people. Let's be nice and love everyone. And watch podcasts and play video games and talk about movies and be nice. But it's Halloween, so it's time to be a little bit scared, So they could be out there anywhere, Look out your window right now. There might be someone just staring at you. The strangers.
I'll be over here watching you all night.
Yeah. That show that you mentioned earlier on Bloodshots, Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
That was a fun discussion we had about that show. So go back to Bloodshots and watch that episode. So that's it for this week's episode of the Peace Schmidt podcast. Just like the pirate, what's his name? Let me get his name. Hold on.
The
Great Pirate Morgan. Comment below. We'll read it on the show. Again, thank you for subscribing, everyone who subscribed this last month. And if you like what you saw, like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram to keep up with all the info on all the shows. And if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/derailed. Throw us a few shekels so that we can improve things. And, comment below so we can read it on the show. Anything else you guys want to add?
Nope.
All right. Until next time, we'll spook you next time.